wardrobe from season to season. And so, once I finally get the weather to bring them back out, it feels very refreshing, as long as the wardrobe is associated with a season that, I appreciate. And of course, where I am, I'm lucky enough to have all 4 seasons come around in full swing. I'm in the Midwest, and so, the winters do their damage and the summers get pretty hot. But for me, it's like alternates between summer and fall for my favorite seasons. So when it comes to summer weather and warm weather just in general, I love anything like different tank tops with really long skirts. Personally, I just don't like any skirt that goes above my knee. I think it just doesn't flatter my body shape as well. And so I really enjoy the long maxi skirts. And they certainly feel a lot more comfortable as well. It makes me feel like I can, still remain modest in wearing summer clothing when it gets super hot out. And when it comes to the colors, I love doing not necessarily bright colors in the summer. I think my color palette, honestly, seems to be very well represented around me. I love to wear a lot of greens in the summer. Oh, that was my water. I love to wear a lot of greens. Especially since green. Oh, there's hair in my eye somewhere. I feel it. Ouch. Especially since green and red are, of course, those complementary shades. I think that's awesome. And I love to wear a lot of oranges as well, and browns, and tans, and just a lot of like earth tones as well. You know what? That's what it is in summer. I like to wear earth tones. I could have just started by saying that. But I love all of those colors. Like back there is a crochet tote bag. I have 2 of those. That one is brown with little white flowers in the design, and then I have the same one in this green. It's basically the exact same green, and then with the same flowers in it. Those are so cute for the summertime. And then I also really like sort of woven, what is the material? I don't know, it's almost like straw, basically. It's leaving my mind. But I have one of those sort of like tote / purses. It's not the size of a tote, but it's got, the features of one where it's got very limited pockets. So I like to use those in the summer a lot as well. But the only thing is, I do understand that the forecast... Oh, let me switch this just a little bit. Is that okay? Yep, sure. I understand that the forecast for this week isn't necessarily going to stay super warm. I think it may end up some point in the middle of the week dropping back to 53. And I know we're still in May, oh my gosh, we're in April. We're in April, guys. I'm trying to jump ahead here. I wish it was May. I wish it were May. And so, of course, April showers bring May flowers, but I say this, maybe it's my fault for speaking it out, and the world is just like, God is looking at me like, girl, if you say it, it's gonna happen now, because you're being negative. But every year on my birthday, it rains. And guess what happened this year? It rained. But that's okay, because for the most part, rainy days are fairly cozy, and they allow us to sort of take a step back and to slow down with the rest of nature. You know, to sort of tuck ourselves away for a little bit and get cozy. So that's one good thing about it, if I'm seeing the brighter, positive side to it. But let me just oh no, I can feel this necklace doing the weird thing. Realistically, this necklace at the top, it's like almost a wire. I got it from a secondhand store, and I can feel the wire kind of coming out because there's like two pieces. But whatever, you can't see it on camera, so too bad. It's staying, it's fine. But yeah, I'm very excited for the warmer weather and for this semester to be over. I just last night, wow, if you give me until 11:59 to submit something, you best believe I'm working all the way up until that minute, because I had a cultural anthropology paper to write, and I did. I wrote it. I feel very relieved. Now, was it good? Don't ask that question. That's not necessary. But I turned it in. No, realistically, it was fine. Like, I did fine on it. I gave effort, but it's already so close to the end of the year that I just was not. I was in the mindset of like, how little can I do to still get away with getting an okay, acceptable grade? And that's kind of what I did to this one, just because that class was a general education requirement, and so it's not like it applies at all to my major. And so I just wrote it, and I had that the summer. Like, that's not it. Like, I don't tan normally. But I start to notice that I have so little sun to me that I almost maybe start to look a little unhealthy. How pale I can be in the winter. And so I like to at least have something, to soak in some sun. And to ensure that once I do start going out in the summer, I'm not gonna burn so quick. And so that's why I have to do these sessions of base tans to build it. That way I'm more protected if I'm going somewhere. And, I don't just have to expect, like, oh, even if I do reapply sunscreen, I'm probably gonna burn anyways, whatever. I don't want that. It happens to me every single summer, and I'm so hopeful that that doesn't happen this time. Even, last year I went to, Destin, Destin, Florida, and we went to, we went to Crab Island, where it's kind of just like I don't know what it's called, but it's like you have the ocean, but then there's sort of just like not floating, you know what I'm saying though, there's like a sandbar, basically a sandbar, and so everybody can get out of their boats or their pontoons or whatever they have, and you can just like stand in the water, and it's like up to your waist, which is a really cool thing. Like, it's just like they have like little restaurants and people and both that are like selling like drinks and whatever. And we got like a lily pad. We like rented one of the lily pads with it, and that was really fun actually. Like, that was funny, like going on that and just like falling. It was fun. Like, it felt very like childlike, innocent, like you're playing on a lake or something again. Keep in mind I'm from the Midwest, so all I have is the lake. I'm not going to the ocean regularly. And that was really fun, but the issue with that is that when you're on the lily pad, anything in the water, the more you fall and the more you hop onto it and touch it, whatever, the more you're literally just scraping off all of your sunscreen. Even being in the water is going to take from the sunscreen, and so you're constantly having to reapply. And I did reapply, but because I was on that little lily pad thing, and we were like tanning on it, and all of that happened like after we were jumping around on it, all of the sunscreen completely wiped from my legs, because I would like hop back on it, like to climb back on, and that just shredded my knees. Like, my knees were already kind of like scraping on it as I was trying to get back up, and then once I laid out to tan, oh my gosh, the sun just completely took me out. And even as we were heading back to land, to our hotel, I could feel the burn starting, and I was like, oh my gosh, help me, I don't want this on a vacation, this is gonna be so bad. I woke up the next day, my legs were, I think that time was the worst I've ever rest of the day today, I'm hopeful to just maybe do a little bit of editing here to get this out to you guys, and to do, I just realized, okay, let me just say something now that we're on the topic of a ramble. I wish I had a camera to be doing these instead, because then I could just look at you guys. But because this is my phone screen and I am a Gen Z, this is just what I'm used to looking at to ensure like everything is appropriate looking, everything looks nice, cohesive, and so I struggle to actually look forward. I feel like I say that every single time. I'm working on it, you guys. I'm working on it. Please be patient with me. I'm gonna do that for the rest of the video. I'm gonna look at you guys. Sorry. What was I just saying? I don't even remember now. I caught myself off guard. Oh, right. I'm hopeful to be able now to work outside for the rest of the day, and while I do that, when I say work outside, I mean finishing some more of my assignments and work, just because even though I've already finished some things, doesn't mean there isn't extra stuff piling on top, or at least waiting to be done. I do still have to do more peer reviews on the essays in my writing class, because we have to do an intro and conclusion workshop, and then we have to do, I forgot, I have to make a sheet on all of the purpose statements for each of my individual paragraphs, which honestly is a great method for editing and being sure that each paragraph is actually contributing something to the paper and not just fluff. But I have a feeling that doing that might make me realize that some of my stuff is maybe a little bit more necessary than I had hoped. But honestly, I can just revise it on the spot and then alter the purpose statement for the paragraph so that it actually does fit the thesis of the essay. And so I do have to get that done by tomorrow. Technically, I also have to get the conclusion and introduction workshop done by tomorrow as well, but that's for 3 different people that I have to give all of them their feedback for it and suggest some changes, which I can do. It's technically a tentative, it's a funny word to say, a tentative deadline where every single workshop is going to be due at the very end of the semester, all on one day. But we have these tentative deadlines so that we can stay on track and not do everything last minute. And so I won't be deducted points if I don't have the intro and conclusion workshop done by tomorrow, but I'd like to get it done. I have no reason not to. I have the time to do it today. And then I also have to do a journal entry for the persuasive communications course I have, and I kind of have to do the rest of the journals as well, because they're due quite soon. And then I have to do the notes for that class as well, because those will be due at the same time as those journal entries. And I think I have something else. I have to read Act 3. Yes, Act 3 of A Midsummer Night's Dream. But I've technically already read it. And so I don't need to, but I should review it so that I can actually contribute to the discussion tomorrow. But I really like that class, actually. Shakespeare and Juliet and A Midsummer Night's Dream were created very closely together in terms of the timeline in which Shakespeare made them. And of course you've got like the legend of Pyramus and Thisbe involved in there as well, you know, where they were fated lovers, but when they decided to meet, Thisbe ran away from the lion. Lion played with her veil, and Pyramus felt he was at fault because he assumed that Thisbe had died to the lion, and it would be his fault because he told her to meet him at the location where he found her veil. And so, sort of in an act of honor and to his love for her, he took his sword and drew it through himself. But Thisbe was indeed not dead, much like the story of Romeo and Juliet. But when she found her lover dead, she too pierced herself with a sword, and they died together. And I think it's like the legend of like their bodies produced what we have today as mulberries, which is super romantic. Like, that's adorable. But we're going over that right now, and we're discussing maybe like the correlation between the two productions of Shakespeare and why he decided to have the play within the play. How his dynamics are always very. It's just a little bit strange to me, since we're on the topic of Shakespeare, that much of his material, when it was being put on in his time period, there was always the art of disguise and deception. And so the female characters in the play would disguise themselves as males. Like, take Twelfth Night. You have, who is it, Viola? Viola. She disguises herself as a male when she's shipwrecked. But in that context, it wasn't ever women playing the women characters. They were men, young boys, that would play these female characters. If you hadn't known that, it's super interesting, I think. And so young boys would play female characters that were playing men. So it was men playing women playing men, which is just an interesting thing to think about, and how much the audience likely had to work to really, understand what was all going on. Which is why oftentimes they would include, the little, like in Romeo and Juliet, for example, they had the chorus at the beginning, and so the chorus is meant to come in and fill in what you maybe aren't yet going to understand about the work. Like, if you're going to be confused, the chorus will be there to sort of fill you in, guide you on what's actually happening. But I always thought that was super interesting, and we're quite lucky now that we can have women actors to portray their rightful roles, and so you're not getting the whole deception thing. You can actually read it and understand, okay, that's literally a woman just as a guy. So there is no confusion of the back and forth. But again, I've been enjoying that class because it's basically just like a big Socratic seminar every single day. And in that class, it's me. Oh my gosh, there's 4 of us in there. 4. gonna sit outside and do that. I'm probably gonna make like a nice coffee or something and just put my headphones on, listen to music. Lately though, I've been struggling a little bit to focus with music. Like, when it comes to listening to music with lyrics, I have like a couple playlists with different, I guess, feelings, or just like the vibe of the playlist. like for women, it really is a big deal to have a drastic change in diet. Like that really messes with your hormones, everything. And so I hate having that happen. So I'm gonna get back into my routine. I'm gonna take care of myself. But the same also goes for my routine in working out as well, because I haven't been in 7 days now.